Hamas militants appear to have been outsmarted. Sakal will stay in the Gaza Strip, United States troops are being sent there, and Trump now questions the feasibility of two states, Israel and Palestine. Today, the Israeli government approved a deal with Hamas for hostage release. Palestinians pledged to free all hostages in 3 days. Sakal has started gradually pulling troops back to the announced positions. Hamas has already declared the war in Gaza over. But at the same time, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu publicly stated that the Israel Defense Forces will not fully withdraw from Gaza until Hamas is disarmed and eliminated as an organization. And now, Trump's team announces that to stabilize the situation in Gaza, the United States will send its soldiers to the Gaza Strip, and Trump himself is no longer sure that Palestine should be created at all. I'm Alexei Pechiy. It's October 10th. Let's discuss this topic. The latest updates are important and critical. Before we start this episode, I want to remind you that several news analysis segments are released on this YouTube channel every day. So that you stay up to date with all the news, I recommend you subscribe to this YouTube channel, leave a like, and please write a comment under this video. So, the government of Israel has approved an agreement with Hamas for the release of hostages. According to the agreement, the Israel Defense Forces will move their troops to new positions inside the Gaza Strip, maintaining control over about 53% of the enclave's territory. After that, within 72 hours, Hamas must release all 48 Israeli hostages held captive by the terrorists. The release of the hostages will be in exchange for about 2,000 Palestinian prisoners, but that's the total number. There are those convicted of crimes against security and a partial withdrawal of forces. The Israel Defense Forces is forming the first phase of United States President Donald Trump's peace plan for Gaza, and today the United States Central Command confirmed that the Israel Defense Forces have completed the first stage of troop withdrawal in the Gaza Strip. This was stated by Steve Witkoff, the envoy of United States President Donald Trump for Gaza. Quote, United States Central Command confirmed that the Israel Defense Forces have completed the first phase of withdrawal. A 72-hour period for the release of hostages has begun. Here, let me remind you that last week United States President Donald Trump developed a plan to end the war between Israel and Hamas. This plan includes 20 points and provides for the creation of an international peace council that will govern Gaza. Israel has approved the first stage of the agreement, which will lead to a ceasefire and the release of hostages. It is also known that Donald Trump has planned a trip to the Middle East amid negotiations between countries to end the war in Gaza. But instead of stepping up the process of releasing hostages, Hamas militants have already publicly declared the end of the war. The Palestinian group Hamas has announced the indefinite end of the war and the beginning of a permanent ceasefire with Israel. The negotiator from the Palestinian movement Hamas, Khalil al-Hayya, gave his first speech after reaching the agreement. And he confirmed the terms of this agreement and stated that the Hamas group received guarantees from the United States for the end of the war. Next is a quote from Khalil al-Hayya. We acted responsibly according to Trump's plan. Today we announce an agreement to end the war, withdraw Israeli troops from Gaza, and carry out a prisoner exchange. We have received assurances from the mediators and the Americans that the war is over indefinitely. He also thanked the Middle Eastern countries that acted as mediators in reaching the agreement. These are Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, Iran and Yemen. But what do Iran and Yemen have to do with it? It's clear what their role is. Because those terrorists, and these ones, per the agreement, the group got assurances from the United States Arab mediators and Turkey that the Gaza war is permanently over. The agreement also provides for the opening of the Rafah border crossing in both directions. That's the one on the border between the Gaza Strip and Egypt. It's interesting that Turkey got involved and is also guaranteeing something. And so Al-Hayya confirmed that the agreement provides for the release of 250 Palestinian prisoners sentenced to life imprisonment, as well as 1,700 prisoners from Gaza who were arrested after the militants' incursion on October 7, 2023. Meanwhile, agreement has not yet been reached on the later stages, which call for Hamas disarmament and Israel's full withdrawal from Gaza. And this is where things get really interesting. United States President Donald Trump refused to answer whether he supports the creation of Palestine to resolve the conflict with Israel. A journalist asked Trump what his opinion was on resolving the conflict by implementing the two-state solution for Israel and Hamas. To this, Trump replied, quote, "I have no opinion. I'll agree with whatever they agree on." And this is interesting because the principle of two states for two peoples is the idea of a peaceful solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This approach suggests Israel and Palestine should be two independent states, coexisting peacefully and securely. And supporters of this concept believe that Israel will remain the home for the Jewish people and Palestine for the Palestinians with its own territory, government, and control over internal affairs. And the basis of the idea is the division of the land. These kinds of points were supposedly in Donald Trump's peace plan, but now Trump is in no hurry to say anything at all about the creation of Palestine. Moreover, Netanyahu stated today that Israeli troops will remain in the Gaza Strip until Hamas militants lay down their arms, which is in line with the conditions of Trump's peace plan. After the war ended, Netanyahu made a statement about the troops following the entry into force of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics ceasefire agreement, which began at noon local time. Netanyahu confirmed that Israeli troops will remain in Gaza to maintain pressure on Hamas until the group disarms. I should note here that the Israeli Prime Minister is referring to the second phase of the United States peace plan recently presented by American leader Donald Trump. This stage provides for the disarmament of Hamas and its withdrawal from governing the Gaza Strip. This can be achieved peacefully, fine. If not, it will be achieved by force. And here's the cherry on top, as they say. Western media report that hundreds of American servicemen will help stabilize Gaza with military personnel from several Middle Eastern countries. According to two high-ranking American officials, at least 200 American military personnel will be sent to Israel. Maintain stability in Gaza Strip. The United States Central Command is already establishing a civil-military coordination center in Israel to support stabilization measures in Gaza after the announcement of the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas on October 8. These service members have expertise in transportation, planning, security, logistics, and engineering, and they will operate the center located in Israel. Bailey Dom, the Belarus spokesperson, said service members will monitor the peace agreement's implementation. And now the White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, has confirmed this information, and here is her quote. Up to 200 American service members who are already part of United States Central Command will be assigned to monitor the implementation of the peace agreement in Israel and cooperate with other international forces on the ground. In short, American troops will remain involved in the Gaza Strip, but now they'll be stationed in Israel to observe from afar. But the question here will be, what will the overall situation be like in the Gaza Strip? Therefore, it's possible that these troops might move there. I'll leave it at that for now. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.